Well, today we're going to into this new colony and another one. We're going to be putting in a new queen along with her attendant bees. These are Saskatraz queens. We've always had really good luck with them. It's been about 4 days since I made up these two nucs, and we took 2 frames of mostly sealed brood, another frame of not some larvae, but sealed brood, but then the other couple of frames were just resources, lots of honey, some pollen, and then the nurse bees are in these nucs, so they're ready for a queen. We got delayed 1 day due to a shipping problem with the queens. Normally they get here overnight, but it took 2 days. So the queens are fine, the attendant bees are all fine. So we're going to go ahead and open up these hives and take a look in here and make sure the bees haven't started up building any queen cells. And then we'll get these queens installed. And we're going to leave the queens in each nuc for about 3 to 4 days. We've got the cork out of the candy, and so they could chew their way in there and let her out. But after about 4 days, if they haven't gotten in and released that queen, we'll probably go ahead and do a direct release. So let's get into this first nuc and see what's going on. Alright, so I'm going to blow a little smoke into the entrance of this nuc, which is partially closed. There have been bees coming and going. So let's go ahead in here and see what's happening in this little nuc. Now we see a good number of bees in here. Now there is no queen in this nuc, just what I described as far as having the nurse bees and everything else. And I can see some brand new bees in here, so some of this sealed brood has hatched. So these are all nurse bees. So let me zoom in here and we'll start going into this hive. Okay, so as you can see, there's a good number of bees in this little nuc. Again, these are mostly nurse bees. There are some new ones, newly emerged bees from some of the sealed brood. And we're just going to go through here kind of looking for any kind of queen cells. And we took these out of the parent hive. The queen was left behind. Alright, we're going to pull these frames out of here and take a look. See what these bees have been up to the past 4 days. See how much of the brood has emerged. Now this frame, they're starting to draw out some new wax on it. It was pretty much an empty frame. Did have some resources in it. So again, we're going to be looking for any possible queen cells. This frame has a lot of good pollen in it. That's going to be good, important. So this side here is honey. Nice frame of honey. And on this side, that's mostly pollen. Let me bring it up a little closer. Hopefully you can see the pollen in here. So they got a whole frame on one side here of honey. The other side has mostly pollen. Now we'll go ahead and go through these others here real quick. Now the parent colony that we took all these bees and everything else to make up this nuc, they were a Saskatraz colony. So they're very gentle dispositions. See a couple of drones on here. So this was mostly sealed brood. Most of this brood has emerged. So I am seeing a lot of very nice young bees in here. So again, we're just looking, see if there's any queen cups or queen cells that they started to build. I'm not seeing any. Here's a nice frame of still mostly sealed brood, worker brood. So I think we're going to be introducing these new queens right at the right time. This side here has mostly sealed brood also, worker brood, a couple of drones. So also we're looking for any eggs or any other kind of larvae in here, which I'm not seeing. So things are looking good here. A little bit of pollen over here under my thumb. And so okay, we're not seeing any queen cells. Everything looks good. So we're going to go ahead and kind of get this queen ready to put in here. So let me very slowly and gently put this frame down. And we're going to grab one of these queens. So again, these are Saskatraz queens with their attendant bees. Now one thing that we can do as a test is just see how these bees react to this queen. Now they have not had a queen for at least 4 days now. And we're just going to lay it down here. They're going to probably start coming up to the cage here because they'll smell the queen's pheromone and they'll come up to check her out. Alright, so we're just going to come in here very gently. We're going to use a little smoke to get the bees off of the cage here a little bit. So, very carefully going to get this cage in. So we're going to go ahead and put this with the candy end where the cork was facing upwards. So hopefully they'll get in there and chew this queen out. And we're just going to press it down into the wax in this cell. Again, we have the end with the candy facing in an upward angle. That way, if any of the bees should die on the inside of the cage, they won't be blocking the cage, so the queen can get out. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and put this down in there, kind of get it up together with the other ones. This is a resource frame right here. So we're going to give them about 4 days to get used to this queen and hopefully get her released. I'm not sure I can get this frame down in here, but I guess I can. Alright, so now we've got 5 frames back in here. So we're basically done getting this queen in here, and it looks, as you saw with all the bees coming up to the cage, it looks like they were going to accept this queen, or they didn't have any ill feelings toward her, which they really shouldn't, because they don't have a queen. They have not had a queen for the last 4 days. Okay, we just smoked to get some of the bees out of the top so we don't end up squishing up very many. Okay, now we're all done with this one, so we're going to go over and move to the next hive and get a queen in there. This is a Saskatraz queen. She's been in there in the cage for about 4 days, and hopefully they've released her. And she's doing okay. Maybe even getting around to laying some eggs. But the main thing right now is we want to go in and make sure that she's still okay and been released from the cage. She seems to be a little bit calmer. And slowly and carefully get these frames out and have a look. through here and take a look. Okay, our queen cage is right here and it looks like it's empty. So hopefully they've released her and she's okay. Again, this is a Saskatraz queen. There she is. So good. So the queen's right here. Yellow mark on her. Hopefully you can see her there. So she looks good. I'll take a look in here real quick, see if there's any eggs laid yet. Actually, yes, I do see some eggs. So she's already in here laying eggs. Okay, good. I'm going to remove this queen cage. And the fact is, this hive here will probably be the one that will go in the observation hive in a couple of days. We're going to give her a couple of days to kind of get going and laying eggs. So, okay, we don't need to go into this hive anymore. Okay, well, this colony's okay. All right, very good.